What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nalo Kick of Knowledge. So today we'll continue with our Moon through Sign series. The next up is the Gemini Moon. So what happens when the moon comes into the sign of Gemini? And if you don't know, the moon represents our mother and our relationship with her. The moon represents our mind and the things we give our attention to. The moon represents our emotional nature, how we nurture others and like to be nurtured in return. What's the sign of Gemini? The sign of Gemini is the sign of ideas, traditionally known as the twins. So people say, so Geminis are known for being dualistic, have a strong duality. As in layman's terms, people say they're bipolar. Alright? So the moon, who naturally goes up and down and is just like chaotic within itself with all its emotions, and the fast moving Mercury rule sign of Gemini, when they come together, they make somebody who's highly intellectual with an extremely restless mind. I like to think about this position by saying triple double, no assist, meaning that the person with the Gemini moon tries to do everything. It's nothing they think that they can't tackle. No creative pursuit, no intellectual pursuit they think they can't tackle. Because when you're filled up with restless energy, you want to stay busy, all right? Because if you don't cultivate that restlessness, it can become destructive. And you can end up like, if you don't find a creative outlet or a constructive outlet for your energy, you could end up like using drugs or being an overeater, something of that sort. Alright, so it's good to be out there and be active. So the Gemini moon is really the quintessential entrepreneur. So when it comes to career, it's all I can't really say, oh no, you're supposed to go and do this specifically. Now you kind of have to look at the whole chart. You know, of course, you want to see if Mercury is well placed, since it's the depositor for Gemini. You want to see how well placed that is to go and how well it's working with this moon, influencing this moon. Also, so when it comes to career, my best advice to the Gemini moon is do something that's exciting. Do something that's always fast-paced and stimulates you. That causes you to constantly have to come up with new creative ways. Because this Gemini moon hates routine, just like the Gemini sun. Because of that restlessness, it's just like, yo, I want to be communicating and I want to be a messenger. All right, I want to be going here and I want to be going there. Now, the emotional nature of this person is very non-emotional. Alright? And that doesn't mean that the Gemini moon is cold. It just means that while some of us would rather sit there and feel and go through our emotions, the Gemini moon wants to talk about their emotions. So if you're close to them, they're definitely going to open up to you and express to you exactly how they feel. But you can't always think your way through situations. Sometimes you do have to literally feel. So with that being said, what I've noticed is that sometimes the Gemini moon comes off like unsympathetic towards people. Like their way of helping you through it is to give you good advice. It's to get you to really come out and communicate your feelings like they would. While some people just want you to sit there and be that shoulder for them to cry on. So these guys don't get bogged down with emotions. You know, there's a funny meme out there on the internet that says how long signs take to get over things. And for Gemini, I think it's 2 days. And I think it's true, man. Because these guys, like, they're always reinventing themselves. They're always trying to see, okay, what else can I do? Definitely not mentally lazy. When it comes to partners, A Gemini moon can be very, very exciting to be with in a relationship with. But as you being the person to pursue them, you have to keep these guys mentally stimulated. I honestly believe that most people say that the Libra energy meshes best with Gemini. To some point, I agree, but no. I think the quintessential best match for like a person with a Gemini moon would be someone with a Venus in Sagittarius, a moon in Sagittarius, or maybe even a sun in Sagittarius. But Venus and moon in Sagittarius, there's definitely a link there. These two signs just mesh well together because Sagittarius admires the way that Gemini communicates and expresses itself, and Gemini admires that Sagittarius is able to keep up with them and that they think out there just like them. Communication is key with a Gemini, man. Very, very key. Communication, adventure, and just trying different things out the norm. It's not the routine. They don't enjoy the routine. And also, when in relationships, you can't trap them. You have to give them their free space to do what they need to do. Mental freedom and just overall freedom. They're very capable of being loyal to you if you can just keep up with them. All right? Now, when it comes to the relationship with mom, this is very, very key. And this is one of the cool parts of astrology. And for you guys out there who are, doing readings and want to get into this, you don't just use your Mercury, which is like your analytical intelligence and reading and memorizing things, but you have to use your Jupiter to really understand astrology. You gotta use everything. But to really understand, you have to meditate upon certain aspects of the chart and positions, and you also have to just really pay attention for patterns and be aware of who you're reading and what this person is really about. All right, and ask questions. If you see a particular position, ask questions. Be like, how is the relationship with your mother, or things like that. All right. Now, I didn't mean to digress, but I'll bring it back. What I noticed with the Gemini moon is that the Gemini moon, it can go one of two ways with the relationship with the mother. The relationship with the mother can be very open and communicative and very friendly. Like, these are the people that you will see tell others, like, yeah, my mom, that's my best friend. Like, I can tell her anything, talk to her about anything. That line of communication is there, it's open. Mom could be a very youthful person, and her job could relate to the media or something out there. She could be a writer, something of that sort. But the next thing that I did notice, and I've seen it quite a few, is that teen moms, people born to teen mothers, usually come with a Gemini moon. And in some cases, the relationship with mom is like up in the air. It's like mom is still out there being young and not really nurturing the person. So, certain times you have a person who's born with this position and their mom was always a party girl or always putting their friends before the child. Because you gotta think about it, Gemini is the sign of eternal youth. Like, whenever, especially sun and moon gems, always maintain a level of youthfulness. And especially if this is in the ascendant, you'll always see somebody who looks younger than their age. Or if this position is making an aspect to the ascendant, you will always see someone who looks younger than they actually are. And this also goes into the motherly instincts and nurturing ability. So what I've seen is that there's mothers out there who they never really grew up and gave the child that correct nurturing that they seeked. They may have been communicative, but they weren't actually nurturing. And that goes back to what I was saying, where you gotta be sensitive to others' feelings and know how to nurture a particular person. Not everybody wants to talk about their feelings. Some people just need that shoulder to cry on, a nice big hug, things of that nature. And now I'm just going to talk about my advice on how to best deal with having a Gemini moon. So, with a Gemini moon, you more than likely have a lot of hobbies because you want to stay busy and mentally stimulated. And this can, in turn, create an issue of locking into one, because there's a knock on the Gemini. Jack of many trades, master of none. So my first piece of advice to the Gemini moon is to pick one of your many passions and hobbies and to master that. Because once you master one, it will open up the lane for you to pursue your other hobbies. All right, you don't want to burn your energy out or scatter your energy with so many projects and never actually complete or reach the top of one. All right, and as a Gemini sun, I feel that a lot. I feel the need to really lock in and stick to something and not keep floating around. All right. My next piece of advice is that, well, your mental processes. The thing about the Gemini moon is that what seems like so much going on for other people is normal to them, because Gemini naturally wants to be doing more than one thing. So their minds can be quite scattered and all over the place, but that's normal to them. My suggestion for that is to meditate, and beyond meditating, become organized in the things that you do. Make a time and a place for everything. All right. If you're gonna say you do karate, say, okay, I'm gonna do karate on Monday. I'm gonna go to the gym on Wednesday. All right, and I'm gonna rest on Thursday. Find the balance. Don't burn yourself out, and also become organized. Don't let things build up on you. Okay. But back to meditation. I view meditation for the Gemini moon and the Gemini sun is very, very important, because the restless energy associated with the Gemini moon makes the person kind of nervous or on edge all the time. Not like they're upset, but just like ready to go, ready to do something. And what meditation does is that it calms the mind. It quiets all of that chatter. And I definitely think the Gemini moon can benefit from that. And once you do that, you'll start to see improvements in other areas such as creativity, organization, and concentration. I've had many tell me that it's hard for them to concentrate. And meditation for anybody will improve your concentration skills. All right, so this is my interpretation of the Gemini moon. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Feel free to comment and subscribe to my page. Let me know what you think, and I'll be back with the moon in Cancer. Peace.